How's it going? It's your boy MKS here, finally back with the fourth and final part of Charities to Sport, or Cause Sport, or whatever you want to call it. Hope you enjoy it, and I did want to finish it a lot earlier because it's Christmas. Obviously, I'm wearing this silly old hat of mine. I just thought I'd wear it just as it's Christmas, be a bit silly and all that kind of thing. And I know this is not the most healthy or the most ethical drink, especially in what I'm talking about, to be honest, but hopefully the market can change their behaviour. I don't know, but I know they're on the boycott list at the moment. They're on the naughty list or whatever. But as it's Christmas, I thought I'd be a bit naughty and make an exception and drink this. But anyway, as I say, this is the fourth and final part, and I hope you enjoy it. Before the end of tonight, I was hoping to talk about my mad dreams for mixed race people, as I jokingly call us mutts. Once again, as it's Christmas and it's a Monday, I was going to say, and it's the 25th. But of course, it's the 25th because it's Christmas. But clearly not with it. But I don't know if I'll run out of time to do those as planned. But anyway, I suppose I slept a bit too long. I went to sleep, had a shower, then had something to eat. I suppose that all takes up time. So, but anyway, I'm feeling a little bit refreshed, and I hope you enjoy this video. And it's and I welcome all your support for my content, and I hope to think about, like, in the future what I hope to have achieved, basically. So who I hope to have helped as part of my legacy, if I can call it that. So anyway, hope you enjoy, as I say, and as ever, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on, like, what do you think are some worthy causes, and how can companies like Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola or whichever other companies, Microsoft, IBM or whoever, how can they become more ethical and do more for charitable work? I'd love for tech companies, for instance, to support people across Africa and things like that. So here goes. So number 31. On that note, I would love to support projects that help people from what I call the six, which I mentioned before in previous videos. Let's say people from developing nations and or former colonies. I'd love to support projects which help them to network together, and also to help them in business, investing, creating like startup hubs, ICT suites or ICT rooms, general tech rooms, or even STEM, generally science, tech, engineering and maths, especially for Indigenous Africans and Australasians in the case of the latter. By the way, I'm feeling a lot better than I was. I think I'm pretty much on full mend, but you can probably tell my voice is struggling a little bit. So I think I'm not quite 100% back to my usual self, my usual health, but I think I'm about 99% or 90% of the way at least there. Anyway, moving on, number 32. I'd also love to support young people. I suppose both boys and girls. I'll say in areas like, I'll say ICT for Africa and Australasia, STEM for Africa and Australasia, and that kind of thing. Indigenous Africans and Australasians, and again, hopefully they can network together, learn about business and investing and all sorts of things like that. That kind of thing. Number 33. I'd love to do so in a libertarian way. I'll say one of the things I would love to fundraise for is libertarianism, libertarian parties and causes and groups and whatnot, and human rights and freedoms and things like that. Number 34, also world peace. I'd love to encourage peace as much as possible, diplomacy. I think that if Asian and African nations can cooperate more together, hopefully they can avoid a lot of those so-called civil wars and things like that between each other, both in Africa and Asia, and hopefully all around the world. I love each year to be like a truce for Christmas, like Christmas truce, at least one day a year where there'll be like peace. Also, I'd love for that to be on my birthday as well, which is August the 29th, or even August itself, like the whole month as well, possibly December as well as a month. I think it'd be as much peace as possible, as often as possible, basically. Might be a pipe dream, but thought I'd just put it out there. Number 35, I'd also love to support animal rights, nature conservancy, whatever the word is. What is the right word? I don't know, but if you can post that in the comments as well. But yeah, things that make things things that make life better for all possible living things, for all possible people, animals, for plants, for trees, nature, and that kind of thing. I suppose I feel a bit hypocritical, and it's a bit of a dilemma that I love to collect papers and things like that, things to write on. And recently I've been thinking, obviously, trees have to unfortunately be destroyed for that paper. So it is a bit of a dilemma. It's a difficult one because, like any addiction, just like an alcoholic or a druggie or whatever, believe it or not, I'm not any of those things, as much as I might seem like I am. But obviously they struggle to stop drinking or taking drugs or smoking, whatever other addictions people have. And mine is like collecting papers, if I could, or like even receipts, envelopes, and things like that, and certainly things like notebooks and things like that. But it is a bit of a dilemma. Part of me thinks I could like try and fundraise and sort of plant more trees to make up for it, but the fact those trees have to be felled in the first place is a bit of a dilemma for me that I've been thinking about and wrestling with recently. Number 36, once again, fundraising for Serie A and Italian teams generally. That's Serie A, not Syria. My massive dream, again, it's probably a pipe dream, but I was dreaming that Serie A teams like AC Milan, Inter Milan, Monza, Roma, Juventus, and all other possible Italian teams could get wealthy owners around Christmas. In some cases, on Christmas Day itself, but others like at least before the New Year. So before the New Year, I would love for Italian teams to have as much investment and sponsorship money and general funds as possible put into them, shall we say, so injected into them so that they can then go and buy the best possible players, but also develop youth, which I often talk about. So I'd love to fundraise for that and talk about ideas for fundraising for that. Again, an idea I did mention in some previous videos in parts 1, 2, and 3, probably, knowing me, but was what if companies refuse to invest in like wars or countries that do war or go to war, in other words, and invested in Italian football, which would be quite ironic considering Italy had like the Roman Empire, but if they became like the Swiss, but instead of through banking in football. So I'd say I'd love to see them get as much investment and sponsorship and general money, funds and whatnot as possible. That would be pretty cool. Number 37, similar for Celtic. I was thinking recently about all I want, like the song "All I Want for Christmas Is You." I thought, what if Celtic fans had their own version, or versions even, where they talked about like, I suppose Italian teams could do the same. I suppose it would be quite easy to replicate, but Italian teams and Celtic could be the originals for doing so. What if they had "All I Want for Christmas Is," and then they could choose like a top player that they want, or top manager they want, or whatever, top coach they want, or that kind of thing, or trophies or whatever it is. So replace you with investment or the best possible signings or best goalkeeper or whatever it might be. Another thing is the 12 days of Christmas. I was thinking on the first day of Christmas, may Dermot Desmond, who's the owner of Celtic, or main shareholder, I suppose he's the owner, on the first day of Christmas, Dermot Desmond could buy for Celtic a new goalkeeper, and then it could be a new left back, wing back, and then go through the whole squad. I can't be bothered, to go through like the whole 12 days. My French there. Number 38. I hope that, as I said before, like Italian football and Celtic can learn from each other, including how to bring investment in. Talking about sponsorship and investment and that kind of thing, acquiring investment and that kind of thing. I think it'd be pretty cool if they looked at how what they could learn from each other. So if Italian football has a good way to attract investment, it would be cool if they could see whether Celtic could have that sort of thing where they could replicate those ideas or borrow ideas of each other, or basically learn ideas of each other, and including obviously acquiring investment and other things that to do with the business model, which is what football is, I suppose, modern football especially. Number 39, as I say, animal rights, supporting people in developing nations and that kind of thing. I think all those things will be pretty cool. And number 40, again, once again, as ever, I would love to read any comments you have on like what causes you think are good, whether that's Macmillan or maybe some charities you want to expose as not being so good. So like I think Macmillan, some people don't really believe that the money does go to charity. So I'd love to know different people's experiences or whether you agree with that or not. But it could be like charities you think are fraudulent or charities that you think really do make a genuine difference, causes, charities, or whatever you call them. And I forgot to say in the intro but happy Christmas.